Have you ever pondered how the human brain and cybersecurity are interconnected? Picture the human brain, a marvel of nature, constantly processing, analyzing, and responding to countless stimuli. Now, imagine that same complexity mirrored in the realm of cybersecurity. This is where we introduce the concept of a digital hypothalamus. Much like the hypothalamus in the human brain, which regulates our body's responses to external threats, the digital hypothalamus serves as the sentinel of the cyber world. It's a guardian in the vast neural network of the internet, ever watchful, ever ready to respond to the myriad of cyber threats that lurk in the shadows of the net, where the zeros meet the ones. In this digital world, a continuous battle rages on. On one side, we have the security measures, our digital defenses. These are the firewalls, the encryption technologies, the antiviruses, all working in harmony to protect our data, our privacy, our very identities. They are the walls of our digital fortress, standing tall beneath the virtual sky. But, as with any fortress, there are those who seek to breach its walls. These are the cyber threats, the silent warriors of the internet. Their weapons are varied and ever-evolving: malware, phishing, ransomware, botnets. They are the Trojans in disguise, the devils in plain sight, each click, each download, potentially a ruse in their endless game of cat and mouse. This is the battlefield of cyberspace, a matrix where defense and attack are woven together in a dance of code and stealth. Every move is quiet, but as potent as wealth. It's an endless game, a digital chess match where it's so easy to lose. Yet in this war of bytes and bits where shadows reign and threats never cease, the digital hypothalamus stands vigilant. Just as the brain responds to threats, our digital defenses respond to cyber attacks. They assess, they attack, they adapt, always ready to meet the foe in the silicon clash where the cyber winds blow. And so, our journey into the heart of the digital fortress begins. Just as the brain responds to threats, our digital defenses respond to cyber attacks. In the shadows of the net where the zeros meet the ones, the battle ensues. We're talking about the cyber battleground, an invisible war zone that lives and breathes in the undercurrents of our digital lives. This is where silent warriors wage their tireless battles, standing guard over our data, our identities, and our digital peace. But who are these silent warriors? They're cybersecurity experts, coders, hackers, essentially those who have mastered the language of the digital realm. They understand the rhythm of the ones and zeros, the binary code that forms the DNA of our digital world. They are the guardians of our digital fortress. Now let's talk about activation. In this context, it refers to the initiation of a cyber operation. It could be the launch of a defensive mechanism like a firewall or the commencement of a cyber attack. It's the starting gun in this race between security and threat, between protection and intrusion. Then there's code. Code is the language spoken in this realm. It's the building block of everything digital, from the apps on your smartphone to the operating systems that run our computers. Mastery of code is what allows these silent warriors to navigate the battlefield, to build defenses, and to devise attacks. Stealth, on the other hand, is the art of moving unseen, of acting unnoticed. In the cyber battleground, stealth is key. Cyber threats often operate by infiltrating systems undetected, slipping past defenses to steal, disrupt, or damage. But our silent warriors use stealth too, moving quietly to patch vulnerabilities, detect threats, and neutralize attacks before they can cause harm. In this digital battlefield, the stakes are high. Every move made can have far-reaching consequences. A single line of code can spell the difference between a secure system and a devastating data breach. The silent warriors understand this. They know that their actions, though invisible to most, hold immense power. Every move in this battlefield is quiet, but as potent as wealth. Indeed, in the cyber battleground, silence is golden and vigilance is the true currency. The digital fortress with walls built so high is the arena for this war. This fortress we speak of, it's not a physical entity, but a virtual stronghold. It's the metaphorical barricade that stands between our valuable data and the prying eyes of cyber attackers. So what makes this fortress digital? At the heart of it lies the concept of code. A fortress, in the traditional sense, is made of stone and mortar, but a digital fortress is built from lines of code, algorithms, and protocols. Its walls are firewalls, its moats, encryptions. Every line of code, every algorithm is a brick in the castle. And like any fortress, its purpose is to protect, to safeguard our personal information, our financial details, our secrets from the outside world. But the cyber realm, it's a battlefield, a place where the fight for information never ceases. It's an endless game of cat and mouse, a dance of attack and defense. Those who seek to breach the fortress, they are relentless. They come armed with an arsenal of tricks, malware, phishing, brute force attacks, the list goes on. The fortress, it doesn't stand alone. It's backed by a team of cybersecurity experts, the guardians of the net. They work tirelessly, always on the lookout for potential threats. Their work is a game of chess, requiring strategic planning, quick thinking, and constant vigilance. They fortify the walls, patch vulnerabilities, and constantly update security measures to stay one step ahead. It's a daunting task, for the threats evolve as fast as the defenses. Today's secure code could be tomorrow's backdoor. Today's encryption could be tomorrow's broken cipher, but herein lies the beauty of the digital fortress. It's adaptable, ever-evolving. It learns from every attack, every breach, becoming stronger and more secure. It's not just a static barrier, but a dynamic entity, always growing, always improving. In the face of relentless attacks, the fortress stands strong. It's a beacon of security in the chaotic world of cyberspace. Yet in this digital chess game, it's so easy to lose. One wrong move, one overlooked detail, and the fortress could crumble. But the Guardians, they never falter. They stand firm, ready to protect, to serve in the cyber nest, ensuring the digital fortress stands strong. In this cyber warfare, only the vigilant survive. Let's delve deeper into the shadows of the net, where threats are as varied as they are dangerous. Cyber threats are not confined to a single form. They evolve, adapt, and constantly find new ways to infiltrate our defenses. A key player in this digital chess game is the exploit. These are software vulnerabilities that cyber attackers manipulate to gain unauthorized access to a system. It's like finding a tiny crack in a fortress wall and using it to bring down the entire structure. Then we have backdoors, a more insidious threat. These are essentially secret passages into a system that bypass normal authentication processes. Imagine finding a hidden door in your house that you didn't install and don't have a key for. Quite unsettling, isn't it? App development, often seen as a beacon of innovation, can also be a Trojan in disguise. Malicious apps can act as wolves in sheep's clothing, appearing harmless or even beneficial. Once downloaded, they can wreak havoc, stealing data or damaging systems from the inside. It's like inviting the enemy into your home, giving them a tour, and then wondering how they knew exactly where your valuables were hidden. Speaking of Trojans, this term comes straight out of the annals of ancient history, but its implications are very much present. A Trojan is a type of malware disguised as legitimate software. Users are tricked into loading and executing Trojans on their systems. The proverbial wooden horse stands tall in the digital realm as well. Attack vectors are the means by which these threats gain access to a computer or network server. They are the paths or tools that a threat actor uses to stage an attack. These vectors can range from email attachments to websites, from removable media to wireless networks. It's crucial to understand that in the realm of cyber threats, not all paths are visible, and not all enemies knock on the front door. So, in this world of zeros and ones, vigilance is not just a virtue, it's a necessity. It's the ultimate bet in the Silicon Warzone. The battlefield may be virtual, but the stakes are incredibly real. Through firewalls and encryptions, we make our stand. Our digital fortress is not a passive entity, it is armed with an array of defense mechanisms that safeguard our data and privacy from the ceaseless onslaught of cyber threats. Let's delve into the world of firewalls first. Picture a firewall as a vigilant sentinel, standing guard over a city's gates, scrutinizing each individual who seeks entry. In the realm of cyberspace, firewalls perform a similar function. They monitor the data traffic entering and exiting a network, assessing each packet of information for potential threats. By meticulously filtering this traffic, firewalls effectively block unwanted intrusions, ensuring that only legitimate and secure data can traverse the network. Now, let's turn our attention to encryption, another cornerstone of our digital defenses. Encryption is the art of disguising information, transforming it into an indecipherable jumble of characters that can only be understood if you possess the correct decryption key. Imagine you're sending a secret letter. You wouldn't want it to fall into the wrong hands and be read, would you? By encrypting your data, you're essentially locking it in a vault, ensuring that even if it's intercepted, it remains unreadable to anyone without the key. These defense mechanisms aren't static, but constantly adapt and evolve to keep pace with emerging threats. Firewalls and encryption algorithms are continually updated and refined, fortifying our digital defenses and ensuring they remain one step ahead of potential attackers. In the grand scheme of our digital fortress, these defenses serve as our shields and armor, protecting us from the myriad of cyber threats that roam the net. They are the silent warriors, tirelessly standing guard over our data, our privacy, our digital lives. So in the heart of this digital battlefield, it is through these mechanisms that we hold our ground, that we fortify our presence. In the ever-shifting sands of this digital land, these defenses are our stronghold. As we navigate the turbulent waters of the cyber realm, remember, our fortress stands tall, not merely because of its structure, but also due to the defenses that protect it. Botnets rising like storms over the sea pose new challenges. As we delve deeper into the digital world, we encounter increasingly sophisticated threats. Among these, botnets stand out as a formidable adversary. Imagine a fleet of infected devices, all controlled by a malicious entity. These zombie devices form an army, ready to launch coordinated cyber attacks or spread malware at the whim of their commander. This is the essence of a botnet, a rising storm in the sea of cyberspace. Alongside botnets, we also witness the evolution of keyloggers. Once a rudimentary tool used to record keystrokes, modern keyloggers have morphed into complex spyware, capable of capturing screenshots, audio, and even video. They silently infiltrate our systems, lying in wait to capture sensitive information and relay it back to their masters. Then, we have ransomware, the digital equivalent of a hostage situation. Ransomware encrypts our precious data, making it inaccessible. The malevolent software then demands a ransom, typically in cryptocurrency, to restore our access. It's a cruel game where the stakes can be as high as losing years' worth of irreplaceable data. Data leaks and phishing are yet another set of rising threats to our digital fortress. Data leaks represent the unintentional exposure of sensitive information, often due to weak security protocols or human error. On the other hand, phishing is a more active form of attack. It lures unsuspecting users into revealing their credentials or downloading malware, often through deceptive emails or websites. These threats are not static. They evolve and grow, mirroring the advancements in our defenses. They adapt, learning to bypass our security measures, always in search of a weak link to exploit. They represent the relentless foe we face in our digital fortress. The landscape of cyberspace is a battleground, constantly shifting and changing. To navigate it, we must understand the threats we face and how they operate. Only then can we develop effective strategies to combat them and protect our digital realm. In this digital fortress, we face a relentless foe. In the digital realm, where data rivers flow, lies a guardian silent. Just as the human brain's hypothalamus regulates essential functions like hunger, sleep, and body temperature, our digital realm has an analogous entity, a digital hypothalamus. This guardian, a complex system of algorithms and protocols, is designed to constantly monitor, detect, and respond to threats in the vast landscape of cyberspace. Imagine the intricate network of data streams as a living organism, a digital body, if you will, with its own set of neurological functions. The digital hypothalamus, then, is the brain within this digital body. It's a silent sentinel, tirelessly scanning the endless lanes of data for any sign of danger. It's the watchdog, the gatekeeper, the protector of our digital fortress. Now, let's delve deeper into how this digital hypothalamus operates. It's a subtle dance of detection and response, a ballet choreographed in the language of code. It identifies potential threats by analyzing patterns, behaviors, and anomalies in the data stream. Think of it as a cyber immune system, always on the lookout for foreign bodies, or in this case, malicious codes, trojans, and cyber threats. Once the threat is identified, the digital hypothalamus springs into action. It deploys countermeasures, much like our own body would respond to an infection. It may isolate the threat, eliminate it, or initiate a more complex response involving other systems. The goal is to neutralize the danger and maintain the integrity of the digital realm. But it doesn't stop there. The digital hypothalamus learns from each encounter, adapting and evolving its defenses. As new threats emerge, it refines its strategies, enhancing its resilience and fortifying its defenses. It's a constant game of cat and mouse, a never-ending cycle of attack and defense. In this cyber battleground, where the war is fought in bytes and bits, the digital hypothalamus stands on the front line. It's the first line of defense and the last line of resistance. It's the sentinel's call to rise and fight. In the shadows of the net, the Guardian stands vigilant, ready to defend our digital fortress against the relentless onslaught of cyber threats. An attack comes in silence, a whisper in the code. In the heart of this digital fortress, the digital hypothalamus springs into action. It's a scene that unfolds with the precision of an orchestrated ballet, yet with the urgency of a battlefield medic. Just like the hypothalamus in our brain senses changes in our body and responds to keep us healthy, the digital hypothalamus detects these subtle whispers of code. It identifies the intrusions, the anomalies, the irregularities. It's the first line of defense, the watchtower in the fortress, the sentinel in the night. Once a threat is detected, the digital hypothalamus doesn't waste a second. It swiftly assesses the severity of the threat, understanding its nature, its origin, its potential impact. It's not just about identifying the enemy, it's about knowing the enemy. Knowledge is the first step in any battle. With the threat identified and assessed, the digital hypothalamus swings into action. It deploys countermeasures, much like our body would dispatch white blood cells to a site of infection. These countermeasures are varied, tailored to the specific nature of the threat. They could be as simple as blocking an IP address, or as complex as launching a series of defensive algorithms. These countermeasures work to isolate the threat, to contain it, to neutralize it. They work to protect the integrity of the system, to ensure the safety of the data within. They are the knights in the digital fortress, the shields in the cyber battle. But the digital hypothalamus does more than just respond to threats. It learns from them. It adapts. It evolves. It uses the knowledge gained from each attack to bolster its defenses, to refine its countermeasures, to prepare for the next battle. Because in this digital world, there's always a next battle. And so, in this ever-evolving dance between security and threat, between defense and attack, the digital hypothalamus stands vigilant. It's the guardian in the shadows, the warrior in the code, the brain in the machine. In this battle of bytes, the digital hypothalamus stands on the front line. It's our protector in the digital age, the unsung hero in the war of zeros and ones. Encryption warriors, to the breach they fly. Think of encryption warriors as the digital antibodies of our cybernetic organism. Just like our body's immune system, these warriors are always on standby, ready to counter any threat that breaches the system's defenses. They are the frontline soldiers, the tireless defenders of our digital domain. In the digital battlefield, these warriors encounter a variety of threats, from distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks that aim to overwhelm a system and render it inoperable, to the cunning and deceptive phishing attempts designed to trick users into giving away sensitive information. These warriors face them all, armed with the fortitude of code and the shield of encryption. But how do they do it? How do these encryption warriors protect the system? It's a process that involves complex algorithms and intricate protocols. Encryption is a method of scrambling data into a format that is unreadable unless decrypted with the correct key. This ensures that even if data is intercepted during transmission, it remains safe from prying eyes. The encryption warriors use this method to secure the data, making it a formidable fortress that is incredibly tough to breach. In this relentless battle, these warriors continuously adapt and evolve. They learn from every attack, every threat they face. They use this knowledge to anticipate and counter future threats, fortifying the system's defenses and making them more robust. It's an endless cycle of learning and adapting, a testament to their unyielding resilience. Yet despite their best efforts, the threats never cease. They continue to grow in complexity and sophistication, much like a storm that's constantly gathering strength. But in the face of this relentless onslaught, the encryption warriors do not falter. They rise to the challenge, meeting the foe head-on. They are the bulwark against the storm, the steadfast protectors of our digital world. And so, in this silicon clash, amidst the whirling cyber winds, the encryption warriors continue their vigil. They remain ever watchful, ever ready, standing guard over the digital realm. They are the unsung heroes of this cybernetic world, the guardians of our digital secrets. In the Silicon Clash, the cyber winds blow. So here in the digital world, where our secrets lie, the Guardian keeps watch. Welcome to the final chapter of our journey, where we delve into the relentless quest of the digital hypothalamus. This is the guardian of our digital realm, a sentinel standing steadfast against the ceaseless wave of cyber threats. The digital hypothalamus, much like its biological counterpart, is the central hub, the command center, if you will, of our cyber defense system. Its task is monumental: to protect, to serve, and to maintain the equilibrium in a landscape that is constantly shifting, constantly evolving. The challenges it faces are numerous and ever-evolving, from the cunning Trojan horse hiding within an innocent-looking app, to the devastating brute force attack hammering relentlessly at the fortress walls. The threats are as diverse as they are dangerous. And yet, the digital hypothalamus remains unyielding, standing firm in its unceasing quest to safeguard the system. This is no easy task. The digital hypothalamus must be ever vigilant, ever watchful. It must constantly learn, adapt, and evolve to counter new threats. It must be swift in its response, yet measured in its actions. It must be the shield that protects, and the sword that strikes back when needed. The stakes are high. In this world of zeros and ones, where our most treasured secrets, our most personal data reside, the Guardian's role is paramount. A breach, a single point of failure, could spell disaster, and yet the digital hypothalamus remains undeterred, unwavering in its mission to protect and serve. Indeed, the digital hypothalamus is the unsung hero of our digital age. It is the invisible shield that guards our secrets, the silent warrior that fights our battles in the shadows. It is the guardian of our digital realm, tirelessly working to keep us safe from the unseen threats that lurk in the depths of cyberspace. As we conclude our journey, let us take a moment to appreciate the immense task that the digital hypothalamus undertakes. In this ever-changing digital world, the Guardian's quest is never over. It is a constant battle, a ceaseless struggle, a never-ending vigil. A digital hypothalamus, in its unceasing quest to protect, to serve, in the cyber nest.